don't exert yourself, will you, mate? Just strolled across the road. Strolled across the road. See what the restaurant.
Extension was added so that by 1882 Dewis had a floor area of 20,000 square yards spread over 5 stories and employed over 800 workers. In 1886 the electric lighting was installed, which was a great advance because at last workers could actually see what they were doing. Up until then many of them had actually thought they were working in. The Bellevue Mills did spinning, weaving, making of sewing cotton. Anybody remember Silco? Really? How old are you? And dyeing. Bellevue Mill was the home of Kingsley Cars until 2006, which has been converted into a partners accommodation and is now also home to. But it is reassuring to know that the canal is only about 5 feet deep at its deepest point, so neither the boat or yourselves are in any real danger. Unless you are a little tiny person, obviously. I'm an elf. Less than 5 feet tall anyway. To operate your seatbelt, insert the metal tab into the buckle and pull tightly. It works just like every other seatbelt on the planet. And if you don't know how to operate one by now, you probably shouldn't be out in public unsupervised. Okay, if you stop looking now, there are no seatbelts, I just have to say it. In the event of sudden loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will descend from the ceiling above you. Don't stop screaming. Put one over your nose and mouth, adjusting the straps to fit tight. If you are travelling with young children, put yours on first before assisting with theirs. If you have more than one child with you, it might be an idea to take a minute now to decide which one's your favourite. So you can help that one first and then work your way down. For your own safety and comfort, passengers are advised not to lean out of the doors, windows or hatchways of the boat, so please refrain from sticking heads, arms, legs or any other bits of yourselves out. We don't want to leave anybody parts on the swing bridges or frighten the sheep. I mean, let's face it, they have enough problems living in Skipton as it is. Halfway through the trip, we will be turning the boat a one-storey shed with an attached warehouse. There was an extension added in 1872 and a dye house added in 1875. Oh, you're making a note of all this. It's a test. Union Mill is now a housing development. Last but not least, Heather Mills. No, sorry, that should be Alexandra Mill, situated on Keighley Road, Skipton. It was built in 1887 by George Walt. This mill had a weaving shed holding 500 looms, manufacturing dress goods, skirtings and shuttings. It's a different language, this. It was later taken over. Thus forming a through link between the Irish Sea and the North Sea. The Millennium Ribble Link now provides a link via the River Ribble to the Lancaster Canal. An extension of the western end past Liverpool Pier Head to join up with the main dock system is now completed. The Leeds and Liverpool Canal climbs away from the Lancashire Plain into the Pennine Hills from Wigan up the famous 21. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I've worked a boat up and down this flight many times, and it is a back-breaking task. You need strength, fortitude and plenty of pies. It's no coincidence that Wigan is the European capital of pies. And here's a little known piece of trivia for you today. The only reason meat pies have a little hole at the top of them is so Wigan people can pick 4 up at once. Alright, having a party, get a 4 pack. 2 hands free, get 8. That's Wigan. You quite often in Wigan see signs in the back of vehicles which say, no pies are left in this van overnight. Oh yes. Every other shop is a pie shop. They've even got a pie Kia, an MF pie, a pie land, a pie stretcher. This is more of a pasty actually, I'd say. But that's Wigan for you. Before we leave Wigan, I must add a serious warning. So always take great care around canal locks. Locks can be lethal. They are deep and cold, and take strong currents should any of the paddles be left open. I was once knocked off my boat into a Wigan lock by a torrent of water blasting through a gate paddle, and some moron hadn't closed properly, and I nearly drowned. But that's another story for another day. You may want to read more about it in my compelling and hilarious autobiography, Under the Microscope. This is available in medical bookshops and on Amazon.com. Okay. So, from Wigan, the canal flows through the once proud cotton towns of Blackburn and Burnley, where several Victorian mills can still be seen. The summit level traverses some stunning moorland scenery over the backbone of England, plunging through the mile a very average Premiership football for a year. The section of the canal that we are travelling along today is between the famous 5 rise locks of Bingley and Holmbridge locks of Gargrave. It was the first section of the canal to be opened, as it's a relatively flat 17-mile stretch with no locks at all. But as you may have noticed already, there are many swing bridges to be opened. Those of the high street that may have escaped your attention. Features such as the base of the long removed market cross, or the bull baiting stone, or the vicar's paving. While not entering the castle or any of the churches, the walk takes you conveniently close by so you can explore these separately. You'll enjoy the towpath of the Springs Canal as it meets the Leeds Liverpool, the colourful barges that ply holidaymakers along nearly the northernmost part of the canal, which is at the nearby village of Gargrave. The railways put paid to the canals as a transport route, and Skipton station was replaced so that it gave access to Mr. Dewhurst's home at Irville. The gardens are now a park and the house incorporated into a school. You may be surprised to know that Skipton actually has an intercity service to London's King's Cross. Are you surprised? Because I'll tell you what, I am probably surprised. The walk skirts the base of a drumlin that is Middletown. A drumlin, by the way, is an elongated whale-shaped hill formed by glacial ice. Oh, I thank you, O-level geography. As it heads by Wallerbeck to the wilderness adjacent to the original location of Canon Ermistad School, where you may find the schoolmaster's house, now across Keys, out of scale. That's a bit small, probably. Returning to the high street along Otley Street, you will see carvings on quoin stones. That's quoin stones. I don't know what's it's for vegetarian. Passing the Sir Optimus rooms, you'll also pass a house that bears Rudyard Kipling's name. Possibly a cake shop. Possibly a cake shop that made exceedingly good cakes. Who knows? Not me. The shopping of the high streets has extended to Craven Court, and several of the ginnels. I love that word, ginnel. It's a proper northern word, isn't it, ginnel? Because a ginnel looks like a ginnel. It's a ginnel. Of course it is. Anyway, it creates an enjoyable experience served by Thomas's and other independent retailers, along with the usual suspects. Also in Skipton, you can visit the Craven Museum at the Town Hall, along with the Tourist Information Centre. Whittaker's Chocolate Shop is also just next door, and again, no visit to Skipton would be complete without a stop here. Skipton is famous for its high street market, which takes place 4 days a week. Skipton also has a farmers market every first Sunday of the month down at the Canal Basin on Court Street car park. Skipton hosts many events throughout the year, such as the Waterways Festival, the Puppet Festival, Sheep Day, quelle surprise, and the Yuletide Festival, and many events are also held at the Auction Mart. Nearby is the small market town of Settle, Grassington Village, as seen on TV, Ingleton with its famous waterfall walks, Colne, the home of Boundary Mills, I love it, I take a packed lunch, Haworth, home of the Bronte sisters, Empsey and Bolton Abbey with its many walks, Malham and of course the Yorkshire Dales. There are many places that have also had TV and film locations, so be sure to check them out.
Craven Nursing
A number of notable people have been born in Skipton. In 1838, the philosopher Henry Sidgwick was born on May the 3rd. Thomas Spencer, the co-founder of Marks and Spencer, was born in Queen's Court, Skipton in 1858. On Broughton Road, they were all pulling out the plugs from the bottom of the boilers and letting out the water, which made the steam to drive the power wheels. The The leaders demanding money from the mill owners terrified house owners threw their possessions into the thoroughfare before locking their doors. Back in the town hall, near the tourist information centre, a defender came up with a brilliant idea. While Magistrate Wilson began to read the riot act in the high street, timber merchant John Settle would pretend to be a Chartist leader and spread the news that carts made ready for the distribution of the loot were assembled at Anna Hills. The rioters were to withdraw there immediately. The ruse worked. Can you believe they fell for that? Well, they did. And only on reaching Anna Hills did the rioters realise that they'd been duped and were hell-bent on returning to smash up Skipton good and proper like.
That machine was running up the track.
Yeah, that's what I said to you.
He's got to run round and get back on.
Especially up a lesson. Oh no, I was in this 20 and 30 years ago. So she had a whole lot of shit. Well, she's on it at the minute. And then they're in Ibiza in October before she goes up on 9th of November.
Some more outside. It does get on.
Canal boat trips have been sailing from the wharf to Skipton for well over 50 years, and most of them have made it back. It started off with an inspection launch wharf by the office. These are available for day hire and hold up to 10 people. Full instruction is given and you can then explore the canal on a wonderful day out with lunch on board to picnic or at one of the local waterside pubs. I highly recommend it. And so, to a little bit about the canal history and its wildlife. Questions will be asked at the end of this, so if you could just wake up, that would be great. The canal was started in 1770 and opened in stages, although it was not properly completed for over 40 years. But it was built to an unusual gauge, considering the areas it linked together. The locks were only built large enough to accommodate the Yorkshire keels of the Calder and Humber rivers and were too short for the average size Mersey flat or any Midland narrowboat. It's a long navigation and climbs steeply into the hillside of Lancashire. As water supply to the summit was always going to be difficult, it was built for vessels drawing no more than 4 feet. The canal barges that evolved from all these constraints were the Leeds and Liverpool short boats. About 60 feet long and 14 feet wide, they combined styles of construction from both east and west of the Pennines. Most short boats were Carvel-built wooden craft, fat but efficient with a fine graceful run aft, bringing the water smoothly up to a big wooden rudder. Some were round-sterned, with all the planks pulled in and fixed to one vertical stern post, but many of the horse boats, especially on the Yorkshire side, were built with a large square transom stern. Steel shot boats were being built into the 1950s, and most of these survived, although scattered around the system. Even after the widespread introduction of steam and motorboats, horse-drawn craft continued to operate and compete until the middle of the 20th century. Horses are a critically important part of canal history, but a part that is in danger of being overlooked in this mechanical age. Remember, always, it wasn't so much the steam engine that created the Industrial Revolution as the horse that brought the coal to the boiler in the first place. Horse boating, for all its apparent slow romantic grace, was not for the faint-hearted. It was very hard work requiring skill, judgment and experience, interspersed with long hours of plodding drudgery, and most of the boating population were pleased to move on to motorboats as they became available. Engines, you see, didn't get tired, and you didn't have to walk behind them all day, every day. The decorative ropework tradition of canal boats was the combination of cultural need coupled with the ready availability of the right material at a price the boatman could afford. The practical need was primarily fendering, something soft and resilient between the boat and the lock wall, or something to protect the house-proud skipper's elaborate paintwork from damage. Big, tough fenders had to be made and fitted to the bows of any boats when working locks, and a big set of stern fenders was needed on a motorboat to soften the bumps of the towed butty boats running into the motorboat's stern in bridges or shallow places. A thick plait of rope was worked around the very top of the big wooden horseboat rudder to protect the paint, and several small plaits or tuck's heads encircled the wooden tiller to save it from damaging the cabin roof. These were practical needs being fulfilled in a logical way with waste rope, and a neat craftsman and a tidy boat, the rare pipistrelle bass in this case. Water voles can be seen swimming across the canal, although the voracious meat has taken a heavy toll on their numbers. Grey squirrels are common in most woods, red squirrels less so these days. You may be lucky enough to see a stoat or a weasel out hunting. You can see swans, ducks, moorhens, coots, herons, and possibly the blue flash of a kingfisher as it skims the canal ahead of the boat. Up at Skipton Woods, which is at the top of the high street, regular dog walkers say a kingfisher is seen almost daily throughout the winter months. There was a water otter on one of the small boats at the wharf, and by water otter I don't mean a kettle, I mean a proper otter, which has been seen diving into the canal catching fish and bringing them back to the boat to feed. So keep your eyes peeled and let us know if you spot something we've mentioned or something we haven't seen ourselves. Oh, and fish and chip and burger cartons don't count, there's plenty of them. Pennine boat trips go out a few times a year to get the litter at the canal, but still people throw rubbish in. You'd think they'd put it in the bins, wouldn't you? Hanging's too good for them. Bring back the birch, I say.
Two swans.
Two swans just went past the lane.
Wish those sheets had got a bit.
Take them in there, look. In there for repair, look.
By the canal company. In 1836, however, Hallbank Quarry was producing 80,000 tonnes of limestone a year, so eventually a new tramway was built. The castle has stood in Skipton for over 900 years. It was first built as a motte and bailey castle in 1090 by a Norman baron, Robert de Romille. And for those of you who don't speak French, that's translated as Robert of Romille. The wooden castle was replaced with a stone keep as it wasn't strong enough to withstand attacks from the Scots to the north. For nearly 1,000 years, Skipton Woods provided fuel, building materials and food to the castle and its surrounds. The waterways that run through it gave power to local wool, corn and sawmills across 2 centuries. The forest was carefully managed for firewood, timber and for hunting, while the beck provided fresh water and plenty of fish. But through all this management and heavy usage, the spirit of Skipton has never changed. It's still one of the most beautiful, serene sights in the Wild About Woods project. Spend a couple of hours following the valley of the Ellerbeck on the Wild About Woods trail. Sit and admire some stunning views. Soak up the peace and the history. You'll go home recharged.
We did see it, Greg's.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will soon be arriving in Barbados. Hope the scurvy hasn't got you. Sorry, no, I stand corrected. Skipper tells me we are arriving back at our wharf in Skipton. Could you please return to and remain in your seats? Once it is safe to do so and the boat is securely moored up, we will let you know when you can disembark. Please take care opening overhead lockers, as with the riders bumpiest today, your stuff will definitely move around a bit. When you leave the boat, please be sure to take all your belongings with you. Anything left behind will be shared out by the crew and will probably be on eBay by tomorrow if you want it back. This does not apply to spouses and children left on board. I'd just like to remind you again of the step down from your seats. Please be careful. I hope you've enjoyed the cruise with us today. Don't forget our theme nights on Thursdays and Saturdays from May through to September. And also, as I mentioned before, why not hire out a day boat and be your own skipper? They carry up to 10 people on board and make a fabulous day out for all the family. All the information and bookings are available from our wharf office and indeed online at www.canaltrips.co.uk. The skipper and crew wish you a lovely day and safe journey home. We hope to see you again soon. Before you go into town, you may wish to look at the buildings in our yard. Full of history, there used to be stables where the road trees are, and there are more photos in the Skipton Pie Shop, which we encourage you to look at if you have time. It's full of canal memorabilia, model boats and delicious homemade pies. On behalf of Pennine Boat Trips, I do hope that you've had an enjoyable day in Skipton. If you'd like further details of our day boats, private charters, special cruises, please pop into the wharf office and they will give you more information. Thanks again. It's goodbye from me, Dave Spike.
I don't think I'll take it.
Does she?
She did say half 12, didn't she? But I thought she meant we had to be on the train.
Different drinking flasks and bottles.
She did say don't hang about, didn't she? Come straight back. Well, they are, that's the next one.
I'll go back as well, but I'll have to get them on and entertaining, wasn't it? I can't see any people. No idea.
Pardon?
Don't go walking down that way forward, it's a dead end.
Don't be too long.
Oh, go on then. Wait, where are you going?
Oh, well, we might have a couple of shops or something we could have a look at.
Go right.
Thank you.
Oh, oh.